We've been playing Hogwarts Legacy in virtual reality. We've got our thoughts and overview of the game at the end of this video. Stick around for that. 70% of people click off in the first 30 seconds. So I'm going to tell you everything we're talking about right now.
Don't you click off. I'm watching you.
Gamescom showcased some awesome games and gave us release dates for Batman Arkham Shadow, Alien Rogue Incursion, Behemoth, and a bunch more games, plus some first looks. I'm really excited to talk about that. Plus rumors swirling around Meta. They're cancelling production on the Quest Pro 2, which is great. The Quest 3S is due to be showcased in September and might not have controllers. Plus, a company in India is making a HorizonOS headset, not by Meta. They're making it themselves to release in India. It's going to be HorizonOS headset, but really cheap. So that's going to be cool. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Cool. All of that and more, but we're going to talk about the biggest game to come out this month. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
It's the Unity Cube.
Everyone's favourite game. Yes.
All hail the Cube.
Yes. Hail it.
The mighty Unity Cube is coming for you.
I got some meta rumors to talk about real quick.
My favourite, please.
Okay, number one, they're cancelling production on the Meta Quest Pro 2.
Oh, no.
They're going to focus on sub $1,000 headsets.
Okay.
Thumbs up. Good
Cool.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
definitely.
Yeah,
Good for my wallet.
Do that. The Quest 3 is great.
Yes.
Make improvements over the next few years. You don't need to be selling a $1,500 US headset that no one's going to buy.
No.
Let Apple do that.
Yes, yeah, totally. They've already got that covered.
They've really cornered the market on headsets people won't buy because they're too expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. The other one is, I think it's almost a lock that the Quest 3S will be showcased in September, but there's a rumor saying that it will be available in September as well. Mm-hmm. And then a less likely rumor that it will not have controllers when it releases in order to be a cheaper device for people to buy.
Oh, okay. What, hand tracking for everything then?
Yeah, hand tracking and buy controllers separately. Now, the article I got this from, I will get it up. Oh my God, no.
Having trouble getting it up?
Yeah, I am having trouble. I'm reading this from AndroidAuthority.com. Mm-hmm. They said, a reliable leaker suggests Meta could launch the 3S in September. Allegedly, this would be a cheaper version of the Quest 3. I think we all are pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
It might ship it without controllers as a cost-cutting measure, although this is less likely. The article then concludes by saying, we think there will be controllers in the box, but they may not be the Quest 3 controllers. So to me, that means either they'll be the Quest 2 controllers or a cheaper version of the Quest 3, and I think you're happy with either of those options.
Oh, yeah. I don't really want to fork out cash for controllers that don't have those rings on them. So I'm happy to use my Quest 2 controllers with this headset.
Yeah, honestly, if I had the choice, I would use the Quest 2 controllers. Mm-hmm. They just track better. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of couch sitting in my Quest 3.
Yeah.
And when I put my controllers down, like in my lap or whatever, they're occluded because they don't have the big rings.
Yeah.
Also, good thing if you do that. Quest 2 controllers or something with that profile would be good for me. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you prefer the Quest 3 controllers? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us. Am I the only one that's wrong here?
Always. My question is, there was a couple of weeks ago you told me about these third-party controllers that were coming to the Apple Vision Pro, and they were like called the Squish Experience or something like that.
Yeah. They're super cool, and people have been playing games with them in this last few weeks for Gamescom and whatnot, and the reviews have been absolutely stellar.
Cool.
People are saying these are a game changer for the Apple Vision Pro.
Yep.
So once you've paid your $3,500, all you need to do is buy these controllers.
Great. So I wonder if those controllers will support this. Wouldn't that be cool if you had like a third-party VR controller manufacturer that was going to support everything?
Yeah, because they're inside-out trackers. They have little cameras on them to sort of track out and figure out where they are.
Yep.
So if I could add that to my Quest 3, I would do that too.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Hire me.
Cool. The last rumor I have for you is the company Geo is considering making a HorizonOS headset for the Indian market. It's going to be a super cheap HorizonOS headset.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gimme.
So the Pico is basically a Quest but cheap, but they don't have the software that Meta has.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you remember a few months ago, Meta said, hey, we want an open platform so the other manufacturers can make headsets and put our HorizonOS on it. Basically what Android does for mobile phones. Mm-hmm. You make the mobile phone, you put Android on it, and now it's an Android phone.
Yep.
This company is going to do that for the headset in the India market, which is pretty common with mobile phones already. You take Android OS and you make a really, really cheap phone for the Indian market.
Yep.
So this would be cool. This would be the first manufacturer to make a Horizon OS headset.
That's great. I think that means that they'll be starting to manufacture hardware that maybe they can sell to other aspiring VR headset creators as well. So maybe this will lower the price of headset manufacturing across the board.
Yeah, and it'll start competition. And another thing, I don't know if you remember the whole... remember before phones were like borderless with their screens? It was these cheaper foreign manufacturers in China and India that were experimenting with like getting rid of bezels on phones, hiding the camera, having things flip out.
Yep.
And that could happen in VR where like they are making money selling cheap ones and then they're doing experimental headsets.
Totally. Because up until this point, we've had Meta investing in R&D to make these headsets new and interesting and stuff, like all of the remote play stuff that we've got, all the Bluetooth features. They're being pioneered by essentially someone that's monopolized the market. If we've got competition that's also got enough money to throw around in R&D, maybe we'll see more features coming to headsets.
Yeah, and also Meta is like looking on the technology side as far as the R&D for better screens, how to track this and that. But it might just take someone to do a little bit of out-of-the-box thinking to add a feature to VR that we just did not imagine we needed.
Yeah. Out of the box sounds like a headset, and I hope it fucking isn't.
Sounds like a VR game.
It does.
So Horizon OS has this app store. It's the Meta Horizon App Store, and you can get good games on that.
Yes.
And then they had a secret hidden in development section. You could only get it on your phone pretty much. And that's where all of the beta games were. And you could download them and test them. You could buy them even.
That's where all the App Lab apps were. Correct?
Yeah, I was really trying to avoid saying App Lab because I'm bad at it. But Meta decided to just combine the two stores. So there is no App Lab anymore. It's not secret. It's just searchable within the main store.
Cool.
That's finally happened. So all the games in the App Lab came over to the Horizon store.
Nice.
Incubing.
Man, it's they're really good with the marketing. It's like the talk of the town. Even if you don't want to talk about it, you just find yourself talking about it.
Yeah. Including people's test projects. So one person made a Unity cube to test developing a VR game for the Quest. They uploaded it to the App Lab to see what the publishing process was. And it is now available on the Horizon store. Have you played the cube?
I haven't, but now I'm intrigued. I said to you before that this, to me, feels like an artistic expression. This is like Campbell's soup.
Yeah.
It's like it's a statement on what is a game.
Yeah.
Is this a releasable product? People can pay for this and experience the cube.
Yeah.
So
I haven't gone to the store. We should see what the rating is. Should we have a look?
see, we're intrigued.
All right,
working.
okay,
This is
all right.
100%
Let's
by design.
Let's have a look at the Unity Cube. Okay, all right. I have found the storefront for the Unity Cube. Do you want to have a guess? Rating and stars.
It's 5 stars, and there will be a trailer with lots of action-packed music behind it. Explosions.
It's 4.5 stars, 169 votes.
Nice. So what's the half a star missing for? Like, is it just the edges of the cube? They aren't necessarily sharp enough.
I'll read some reviews. I gotta go sideways for this.
That's fine.
Love this game because the story, the art style is amazing, the gameplay is amazing, and everything about it is good. My favorite boss is probably Nightmare King Grim or the Radiance. The way they introduce this is amazing. Edit, gosh dang it, wrong game.
Oh, okay. Well, that was disappointing.
Disappointing, yeah. This is probably my favorite VR game. No game ever you have to download this. The story mode and voice acting is so nice. All right, are you going to give the cube a go?
I might. I'm looking forward to New Game Plus, where it's like all against a sphere at the end.
Well, it says here, I got another review. After you complete the 34-hour campaign, you can't really do anything else, but it is very fun and high-quality game.
Cool. Look, I'm sold. I haven't really been excited for VR exclusives this year, but I think I'm there.
All right, I want to see, do we have any 1 stars?
I just want to know about the stealth mechanics. That's my big thing. Like when the cube finds you, like is there a way to kind of hide back away from the cube?
Oh, we have a 3-star review here.
Oh,
Would
shit.
you like that?
Okay, yeah.
I thought the other 3-star reviews seemed lonely, so I decided to join them.
Look. This is. I just feel like the standards of quality reviewing have really dipped.
Anyway, people were worried that when the App Lab... Can you say the word?
I don't want to anymore. I think you need some fucking practice. I keep saying it for you every week, and you never get to learn. So you say it.
I think people were concerned when this beta program was introduced into the...
Like and subscribe if you can say App Lab apps.
I think people were concerned when App Lab was being added to the Horizon store that it would mark a decrease in quality and we'd just get a bunch of rubbish flooding the store and you wouldn't be able to find good games. But obviously that's not the case.
No, that's right. Cube, the 4.5 stars on this Cube game really thwarts that perspective.
Yeah. Well, good job, Meta. You thought through the plan and you executed it perfectly.
100%. Yeah.
All right, should we talk about games?
We just did. I think we're all done.
Oh, yeah. But should we talk about, up-and-coming developers doing their best?
Sure.
All right, cool. Batman Arkham Shadow got a release window.
When's it coming out?
October.
October, nice.
I would guess late October would be my guess.
Yeah, cool.
Peak video game buying time is November, December.
Yep.
We have Behemoth coming out mid-late December, November.
Yep.
And Alien coming out early December.
Cool.
So it makes sense for them. Drop it late October. They get all of that free space to sell copies.
Yeah, I think Christmas is a big factor here because when you're looking at maybe buying a headset and you see, wow, look at all these games that are coming out, you're going to want to buy a headset for your whiny child or me if I'm your whiny child. So buy me a headset.
Yeah, and subscribe.
Please. Subscribe.
So Alien Rogue Incursion has a release date. It's December 19. We got our first good looks at sort of some Alien gameplay and whatnot over the last few weeks.
Did we get some good looks or just some looks?
Well, they're scary looks.
Are they?
They're scary aliens. But that is Alien Rogue Incursion is releasing December 19.
Okay.
Like I said, Skydancer's Behemoth is November 14. You didn't really see this game before until I showed it to you.
I just looked at it like literally minutes ago, and it looks fucking great. I'm not even a big fan of Shadow of the Colossus, but yeah, I could totally play something like this.
Yeah, I was talking about, and Behemoth has got a release date, and you were like, what are you talking
Behemoth?
about?
What? Who is that? What? Okay.
So a few people have had playthroughs of all three of these games. Behemoth is getting good reviews.
Yep.
Batman Arkham Shadow has an embargo, which we'll be releasing within the next week, I think. So we're going to start to hear some reviews from people that have actually played it shortly. So you'll find out about combat.
That's a pretty early date to release an embargo on a game that's coming out in like a couple of months. Like, especially when you compare it to Star Wars Outlaws that just had an embargo release within seconds of the actual release. So yeah. That means that they're confident in the game.
Well, I think a few things. One, they didn't want people to talk about it during Gamescom because there's other things taking away from the media. So it makes sense to give some breathing room so people will have more attention to the reviews.
Yep.
And second of all, I think VR people are pretty positive about any new VR developments, so it makes sense that they would want to get the word out.
Yep.
And also, people like you and me are whiny little a-holes, and we've been complaining, we've been voicing our concerns about combat, so it makes sense to get ahead of that.
Totally. There's another market as well. Sorry, there's another audience as well. It's all the people that don't have VR, that when they see an announcement for a franchise that they like, that's got a VR exclusive game, they complain about how VR sucks and how this game's going to suck. And so I'm sure that there would have been a bunch of people that were very mad that an Arkham game wasn't being announced at Gamescom for consoles.
Yeah, you're probably right there in that, because if you don't have a Quest 3, you need to buy it. It makes sense to start showing reviews now so people can start planning to spend hundreds of dollars in a few months' time.
Yes. So if you've just sunk all your money on a PSVR 2, you can't buy this game. Yeah, interesting.
Well, the Quest 3 is pretty cheap. The Quest 3S, we'll talk about later, is going to be even cheaper. But do you know what is cheap here in Australia now?
Us, we're cheap. Please sponsor this podcast. Someone. We're very cheap. It's only for coffees, please. It's a whole deal.
All last month, PSVR 2 has been on sale in what felt like every single market except for Australia. But the sale has finally come here.
It has, and so have I.
Yeah, and I found it on Reddit, but I mean, the sale's definitely working because the way you found it couldn't have been more broad marketing if you tried.
Totally. My non-VR uncle sent me a link to the sale. And so, yeah, I got news from my family. They didn't get the news from me for once.
Yeah. So I think it's 40% off here in Australia. It's comparable to the sale that was in the US. So if you live in Australia, now is the time to get a PSVR 2 if you own a PS5.
To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaited in sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block.
Subscribe.
All right,
we got two more things to talk about. I saw a game around Gamescom that I wanted to talk about.
Sounds like another game that would come on the Horizon store.
That's an Apple Vision Pro. Walltown Wonders looks cool. It's an augmented reality game. You're basically a town manager by the looks of it, but it's built into your walls. I saw a clip where they put some dynamite on the wall and lit it, and it exploded, and it revealed some more of the town inside.
Yep.
Weirdly, it reminded me of Out of Ammo, PlayerUnknown's Out of Ammo. It was this first-person shooter game, but you could go up into third person and look down on the town and set up your defenses.
Yeah, it would play as like an RTS.
Yeah.
But then you could embody an individual soldier that was on the ground and take their perspective and use the gun that they were using in that position.
Yeah. So none of the first-person stuff, but just that little. I'm like a little town planner doing things, and I can pick up people and put them over here.
Lemmings, OG Lemmings was a great game. All that kind of stuff. I feel like that aspires to be something like this.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Solar Opposites with the wall people. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, yeah. If we could torture the wall people, that's a game I would play.
Yeah, totally. That's a sequel.
There were a few other trailers and games that we saw over the last week with Gamescom and just around that.
Yeah.
One that you did not care about and then you cared about and it blew my mind was Orion Drift. I thought you would hate this. The Gorilla Tag.
Yes, Space Gorilla Tag.
Yeah,
I like it.
One thing Beardy's having a lot of trouble with is all of these names are so generic, it's hard to remember which game is which.
Yeah.
But Orion Drift is from the developers of Gorilla Tag, and it's basically a rec room in space. It's a bunch of different games. Your locomotion is the same as Gorilla Tag. You got no legs and you run around like this. But there's a bunch of different games. What were the games you saw?
And it was like a Rocket League looking kind of game going on, and then there seemed like there was this Gorilla Tag style obstacle course looking thing. Maybe there's like a shooter that's in there as well.
Yep.
It was like a very quick trailer that showed like a lot of different things that you can do, but they didn't seem to showcase anything in particular.
Yeah.
It was just about the variety of gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is a free to play, right?
Yeah, I would assume so too. But I was expecting you to be like, "Oh my god, this looks dreadful." But you look pretty impressed.
I didn't really. I'm too old to enjoy Gorilla Tag. My arms don't move as well as they should, and I don't want to break my controllers on my desk. So
also, it's weird playing Gorilla Tag with like little 4-year-olds. It's just creepy.
Yes, especially when they beat you. It's like real emasculating. So, but what this trailer showed me is that you can just have complete confidence in how cool your game is going to be, and you don't have to have like an announcing voice telling you how cool it is the entire time, just like Frenzies did.
This trailer was very confident that we would like it. It didn't have any gimmicks to it.
No.
And it felt like it showcased the game really well. So good work. People who have made the most successful game of all time in VR.
Yeah.
Who would have thought they would be good at making a game?
It's not even in the monkey genre either, like the ape genre. It's like I thought that they were going to go from Gorilla Tag to make maybe like an orangutan.
Apes in space.
Yes,
that would have been cool.
Yeah, it rhymes as well.
Yeah.
Always required. There are a bunch of UEVR games that were potentially announced at Gamescom. I'm sure there's a bunch of games that are actually going to work in VR that we're going to be so excited about this time next year.
Yeah, actually, one I'm excited for was Neon Berlin 2087.
Oh, really? You were really excited for that?
Did you see that game?
I did.
Beardy's been pestering me about this game for the last half hour. It looks really good. It's a Cyberpunk 2077 X Deus Ex Machina Lite game, and it looks good.
Yes,
and hopefully it will be a UEVR VR viable game.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a Cyberpunk knockoff in the Unreal Engine for ages, and this just looks exactly like that. So give me, I'm so keen.
Yeah, that's a good point. We can't really. Now I'm excited.
Yeah,
I was indifferent, and now I'm excited.
There you go.
Yeah, cool. And the last thing we want to talk about is Harry Potter in VR.
It is. Not the last thing. It's actually the first thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it.
It's great. I've been playing it using the Unreal Engine injector, and I thought it was going to be prohibitively expensive on my processor. I heard that it wasn't running very well on a lot of PC rigs. But what I'm realizing is that so many people want to play this game. It's a lot of people trying to get their PC up to scratch to play it, and so maybe it's really difficult for them. But I found that it worked better than most of the Unreal Engine injector games that I've played so far.
So I've jumped onto your rig to play a few PC VR games through UEVR. I've played Borderlands 3 on mine, and it was fine.
Yep.
But then we played Gotham Knights, and I could not play it. The DLSS was just bleh.
Well, something that you had an issue with was the ghosting effect that happens when you play certain Unreal Engine games using the injector. I've only recently updated the injector to play this, and it's actually got a ghosting fix toggle, which when you click, it actually solves that. Although I've noticed that when you do that, it's doing some kind of cancellation effect or something like that. It's like re-rendering whatever's around the character to do something. But when I click that, sometimes the clouds only start to render in one eye. So you're
That's
playing
a pretty
with
common problem.
Sure.
So it didn't have the blurriness and the ghosting that I experienced. It looks so much better, completely playable.
Yeah.
Some certain items, like you said, failed to like sort of look like they were 3D. It looked like it was in one eye, but not both.
Yeah.
But overall, this was fantastic. I walked around Hogwarts, I jumped on a broom, and then I flew around the whole place.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Once you unlock the broom in this game, you may as well uninstall Hogwarts because you're never going to finish the campaign. You're just going to get distracted flying around the whole time.
It's interesting you say that because you said you were 14 hours in.
Yeah.
And then I said, you've already played it on desktop.
Yeah.
And you said that took you 2 hours the first time.
Yeah.
But in VR, 14 hours.
Yeah, there's a lot of walking. I feel like it's just so immersive. You find yourself really wanting to just kind of ingest the world through your eyeballs. So
that is
great.
disgusting.
It is,
it's
but
very
it's great.
on brand with Hogwarts, I guess.
Yes. Cutscenes suck. That's the only issue that I'm finding is that I'm having to lock the rotation because it's doing a like reverse shot thing constantly every time you talk to someone.
Yep.
And so because my character model is invisible, it's just cutting to like nothing essentially. So it's like I lock the rotation and I'm always looking at the guy that I'm talking to, and that pretty much fixes it. So it's nowhere near as bad as what Jedi Fallen Order was when I played that.
Yeah, it was super cool. I fast traveled to Hogwarts and I walked past. I was going down a corridor and this giant snake came out of the wall and opened the door, and I found out I was at the Slytherin entrance.
Yeah.
And it was just very cool.
Yeah.
Even just opening a map, you look down on Hogwarts and you're looking at the map.
Yep.
Very like it
Very immersive.
transitions to VR very well.
It does. Like all that kind of stuff that's going to happen in front of you and make you go wow is like it's perfectly situated. So you'll catch it out of the corner of your eye, and then you'll look over and you'll see it kind of like evolve in front of you or kind of happen. And so that to me, it's like an immediate selling point.
Yeah, cool. So Hogwarts Legacy is a Unreal Engine game. So you can go to UEVR-profiles.com and you can look for the profile. And basically you open that program just as you're opening Hogwarts Legacy, and it will inject VR into it and get it working with whatever headset you have running through Steam VR.
Let us know what you think of these UEVR titles and like whether or not you struggle to get them working or what your preferences are for this, because I find it's a very customizable experience for me.
Yep.
But maybe the experience that I have is completely different to other people.
It is definitely in the weeds a lot if you're in the first month of a game coming out and playing it in UEVR, but after people have set it up, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. Although I'm one of those people that like I get buried in menus, and I enjoy the process of optimizing a game to play it in like a really nerdy way, and so maybe I find it a more enjoyable experience than other people.
Cool. So that's everything I got. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.
Thank you. Why are we thanking them?
Yeah.
You didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah.